Alright, so we got 1750 points of Tyranids here taking on Ultramarines. So on my list I brought a Flying Hive Tyrant. He has the Brain Leech, Devours, and Wings. Then I have a Tervagon who has Crushing Claws, E-Grubs, and for Psychic Powers he got Warp Blast. And for the Flyer, I should mention, he has Catalyst and Warp Blast. Then in Elites I have 2 Venom Thropes, separate broods there, so they're not together. And then just for fun, I don't actually own the model, so what I'm doing is representing with my shorter zone Thropes and my taller one on this little thing. He's going to be the Neurothrope, so I'm going to use that from the Shield of Bale book. So for powers, they got Psychic Scream, then they have Warp Blast and Lance, and also Spirit Leech on the Neurothrope. And troops, I have 3 Warriors, Barbed Strangler, Devours, and Scything Talons. Then I have I thought I just for fun would shake things up, and I brought 2 separate broods of Gene Stealers to infiltrate ahead. I was hoping maybe to get the Infiltrate Warlord trait, but I actually got the Night Fighting Winch, which would actually help them as well. So they are going to sneak ahead and hopefully divert a lot of fire while the rest of my force moves up. 15 Gargoyles, no upgrades. Heavy support, I have 3 Carnifexes in a brood with Devours on each of them. And also I'm trying out the Trigon Prime again. He was in the last game Gordy played. He used my Nids against the Ultramarines who I was playing them. Corey's using the Ultramarines now. And with him I have the Miasma Cannon, and he is just a Prime. So we'll see if I can have a bit better luck and see if he comes in before turn 4.
Alright, I have 1750 points of Ultramarines taking on Tyler's Tyranids. It's my first time using them, so if I make any mistakes, don't mind me. So leading the force, we have Chief Librarian Tigurius, and beside him is a Librarian who is Mastery Level 2, just with normal power armor, and he has an Auspex. And for powers, for Tigurius, I rolled on Divination, and I got Prescience, I got Forewarning, Mental Fortitude, and oh, it was at the telepathy.
You got that.
Scryer's Gaze, and yeah, the
Overwatch one.
Yeah, the Overwatch one. No, not Precognition. Maybe it is. For the Librarian, Foreboding. For the Librarian, I rolled Mental Fortitude, Invisibility, and Psychic Shriek. Okay, what's next? Okay, for the Elites, I have a squad of Sterngard veterans right back there. And on them I have Plasma, 2 Combi Plasmas, and 2 Plasma Guns. They're going to be arriving in a drop pod. We have 2 units of 10 Space Marines here. They're going to be tactical squatted. There's 2 missile launchers and 2 plasma guys, like 1 in each squad. One of the squads will be rolling in the Razorback, and the other one will be just starting on the board. I have a unit of Assault Marines back here who have a Flamer. The Sergeant there has a Power Axe and a Plasma Pistol. Then we have a company command squad right over there, and they're also decked out with plasma, and there's an apothecary in there as well. And I have a Predator who has the twin-linked las cannons and the las cannon sponsons, and I also have a Storm Talon gunship up here, and I took the Skyhammer missiles with him. And I have a Centurion squad right here who have the grab gun and amp, and a missile launcher, and the commander took an Auspex.
Oh no,
Omniscope, yes, that's right. Oh, the Librarian has an Auspex. Alright, so that's 1750 points. Alright, so we are both deployed now. The Ultramarines are going to take first turn. You can see my deployment, kind of just a line up against the edge there. Tyranid deployment over here. We have a close grouping of most of the big guys in there. Flyers up in the tower. Got a line of gargoyles, some infiltrating Gene Stealers inside the building. and over in these the jungle area over here. Back in the by Tyler's objective are the warriors. The objective's right back there. And yeah, Ultramarines are going to take the first turn, so we will be back after that.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Try and steal the initiative.
Oh, okay.
And there is knife fighting, that's my warlord trait.
Okay.
So I want to Tyranid steal. Oh.
Nope.
Almost.
Alright, so yeah, on to turn 1. Alright, so end of Ultramarines turn 1. Pretty much all my army stayed in the same spot. I moved the Assault Marines back a bit just so I knew the Gene Stealers would get the first jump on them if I moved them up. So they moved back a bit. Everything shot, the squad right up here shot into the Gene Stealers. I think I killed one, maybe?
No, they went to ground.
Oh, they went to ground. Okay, so they're done for the turn, which is okay. This Razorback shot up at the Flyrant and hit, and I think failed to wound.
Yeah.
Centurion shot their missile launchers into the gargoyles, killing 2 of them. Over here, this missile launcher shot into the Carnifex up here, who is now kind of in the open, and he missed. And the Predator shot into the Carnifex, doing 1 wound.
Yep.
And my psychic phase was a horrible failure. Tigurius periled and lost the he lost forewarning, the 4-up invul power, and he lost a wound as well. And he only got prescience off on the Centurions.
Yeah.
Back here, psychic phase for the Librarian. I failed Psychic Shriek and I failed Invisibility as well. So that was pretty unfortunate. And they shot into here, and I ended up losing 1 guy to Gets Hot, and I did 1 wound onto the Warriors. That was it. So on to Tyranids turn 1.
Alright, so end of Tyranids turn 1. So everything just moved ahead here. I got Catalyst off on the Flyrant and the Gargoyles, and I flew ahead. He's actually sitting right on top of there. We could balance him, but any bump of the table he'll fall, so the pylon just represents him being right in the corner. He fired in at the Assault Marines, but he made 7 saves in a row, so he held up over there. Everyone else just kind of ran ahead, getting in position. Back here, though, was a different story. I killed off all but the Librarian and the command squad guy left there, and I charged in. I actually didn't do any wounds. Well, I did 2 wounds to him, but he made his saves, and he wounded that warrior there twice. So that was really it for Tyranids turn 1.
Alright, so end of Ultramarines turn 2. Basically everything stayed in pretty much the same spot pretty much. The Rhino, the Razorback, sorry, moved back a bit, let the guys out. This whole line pretty much shot into the Gargoyles here and took out most of them. There's a little clump right there.
This guy got hot too.
Oh yeah, one of so there's a few Gargoyles left. Assault Marines moved over here, assaulted the the Gene Stealers. The Gene Stealers killed 3 of the Assault Marines, and I killed 2 of the Gene Stealers. I lost combat, but I passed the check. With these guys, I shot in the the Flyrant here. I probably should have shot at the Gargoyles, killing the rest of them with the missile launchers, but I didn't. Over here, this lone guy up here with the missile launcher shot in at the Carnifex and actually did a wound. The Predator shot into the Carnifexes as well, doing another wound, I believe. Yep. Back here, the Stern Guard dropped in, and they shot the plasma into these Carnifex here and killing 1 of them. And this one here has 1 wound left, and that's at full. Back here the combat continues. There's a tie combat, losing 1 Marine, and the Librarian doing 1 wound to the Warriors. Forgot to use Force again. So that's 2 turns. I could have had 2 of them dead, but hey, whatever. So that was, and the Storm Talon came on, killing the Venom Throat for First Blood. So on to Tyranids turn 2.
On to Tyranids turn 2, the Trigon failed to come in as expected. Over here, these guys are still just in a mashup. I injured the Librarian once. He took a wound off another warrior. Over here, I took these guys down to just 2 remaining from the E-Grubs that flamed in and got that in them. Then the Tyranids charged in and blew that up. The Fexes climbed up in here and fired up into the Centurions, killing off 2 of them. And then they held their ground. The Gargoyles made their charge and got in there. And Tigers killed off 3 of them. I failed to do anything. And did you do your initial check for Blinding Venom? So roll low. They're good. Because he's initiative 4. Over this way, I killed off a lone missile launcher guy, I think. Yeah, and then I won the combat over there with the Gene Stealers, and I blew up the flyer with the flyer, and then the flyer also lanced in and destroyed the last cannon. So that's just a tin can now, with objective secured. And back here, the Neurothrow group did nothing. Not convinced they don't. I don't know. They're kind of hit and miss, but they failed to do anything. I actually got the power off, but it rolled terribly. And this side of the board, it remains untouched. So that's it for Tyranids, turn 2.
Pretty uneventful turn for the Ultramarines. Once again, the Psychic Phase failed me. I haven't been able to get invisibility off, or use Psychic Shriek, or use Prescience, or any of that so far this game, which kind of sucks, but sorry. Over here, the Razorback kind of just moved up. I waited for these guys all to shoot into the Gene Stealers, which we were able to kill, and I think that was it. And then it flatted out just to try and block them off from this whole horde coming in. Tigurius and the Centurion were able to kill off the rest of the gargoyles, which is actually kind of bad now because people can shoot at them and assault them now, but whatever. Over here, this lone guy tried to shoot a missile into the Gene Stealers, but he missed. The Predator shot into the Carnifexes just because he didn't really have anything else to shoot at. They had a 2-up save, but, and they made it. Over here, the Stern Guard are just running back this way. They moved back and ran into the building. I rolled a 1 on the roll to run. And over here, the Librarian somehow still stayed alive. I got Force off, but I didn't get any wounds. He has 2 guys left with 1 wound and 1 guy with 2 wounds. But yeah. So on to Tyranids turn 4, 3.
So end of Tyranids turn 3, the Trigon came in. Only actually killed off 1 Marine from that group back there. The Gaunt Spartan killed off 2 more of these Marines, failed to charge by 1 inch. Gene Stealers actually charged in and only took off 1 hull point off the Razorbacks, so it's still there. Carnifexes made a bold move right up the middle, exposing themselves to the Centurion and Tigurius, but they did 1 wound. I was really hoping I could finish the Centurion off. Only did 1 wound. In the back, the Neurothrope and Zoanthrope continue to fail. They did nothing to the Stern Guard. They even got the power off, but it rolled a 9. And back here, the Warriors finished off the Librarian. And the Tyranids charged in and blew up this wrecked drop pod. And the Flyrant flew back and wrecked the Predator. So not as much damage as I needed, so we'll see if the Ultramarines can clear out the Tyranids right in front of them.
Alright, so end of Ultramarines turn 4. It's okay turn, I guess. These guys shot into the Gene Stealers, killing I think 1 of them. This unit shot into the Gene Stealers, killing 2 of them, I believe. The Centurion, the 1 remaining Centurion, this squad with 2 plasma right here, shot into the Carnifexes, killing 1 of them, and then the other one was brought down to 1 wound, and he made like 3 or 4 5-up saves to keep him alive there with the Venom Throw right beside him. Over here, the 1 crack guy actually shot into the Carnifexes as well. He was the one who took off the 1 remaining wound on the Carnifex that was right there. Over here, the Stern Guards ran up, shot into here, and I had 4 shots. There was 4 wounds, and I missed with 1, and yeah, there's 1 guy with 1 wound remaining there as well. That was everything. So on to Tyranids turn 4.
So end of Tyranids turn 4. So it's not looking good for the Ultramarines, but it's not over yet. He just has to clear out his deployment zone, and he will get he'll remove me from Linebreaker. That's where I'm tying the game right now. I have to kill Tigurius if I want a shot at winning, or take that objective, either or. And then back here, I finally killed off those 2 guys with the Neurothropes, and everyone moved ahead. Killed off a bunch of Marines with the Trigon, and the Carnifex fired over this way, killed off the missile launcher and a couple guys, and the Flyer killed off the last Centurion, and the Venom Thrope's in combat with him. So moving into Ultramarines turn 5. So we're going to call the game here. We just played out the Ultramarines turn, and a few things didn't happen, such as Force going off. So we're just going to call it so we got time for another one. And so we'll just talk quickly about the game. Really, I think just poor rolling was the nail in the coffin for the Ultramarines. You had a lot of you failed every important roll, but like all your little rolls just you made.
The psychic phase wasn't very good.
No, like back here
Even him, the only power I had that was useful with him was prescience.
Yeah.
And then I lost the 4-up involved.
Yeah. And then I got the Centurions tied up.
Yeah, the Centurions, I only shot one turn with them, like with 3 of them.
Yeah.
I think. And it was at the flyer.
Yeah, next to the Tyranids.
Yeah, the Librarian couldn't get invisibility off either.
Yeah, so back here really was lackluster.
Well, he stayed in the combat for a long time.
Yeah, if Force got off a couple turns, you would have killed. Because it was that one turn where it didn't go off, but you did 2 wounds, so it would have been 2 guys dead. And then the little guys, Jane Stealers did good, I think. They didn't do much, but you had to. They're just annoying.
Yeah.
They just would take up shots, and then the Venom Throat would keep them alive.
Yeah, losing 2 Centurions in 1 turn was pretty rough.
Yeah, and also the Flyer did good as always, but
that turn that I shot at the Flyer instead of the Gargoyles, I should have shot at the Gargoyles with the Centurions.
Yeah, and then your Flyer was in kind of a forced position to either fire at the Flyrant or take out that Venom Throat, because if you didn't kill him,
I think you would have got first blood.
Yeah, and that's an Emperor's Will. First blood almost decides the game. So hope you enjoyed that. We'll have another Batrep coming up. If you want to see more Ultramarines, just comment, and then I'll try them out some more too. And hopefully, if I get time, I'll get a few new units painted up as well.